It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, what's happening? What's happening, guys? Good evening, everybody. Kind of strange saying that, right? It is Thursday, December 19th, 2019. We only got 6 days left until, in my opinion, the greatest day of the year for so many of us. And only 12 days left we got in 2019. I remember months ago, that countdown was a lot higher, and you guys have been with me here every single morning, and now an evening, and I think an afternoon and a late morning a couple of times. But man, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's see, I'm interested to see who jumps on here in the evening versus the normal crowd that we got in the morning. Some of my morning people are still on here this evening. Of course, my girl Patricia, Trisha, Justin, what's happening, man? Samantha, my mom's on here. Ken Walls is in the house, my man, Ken Walls. Lydia, what's happening? Good evening. Tonight's message, guys, kind of came to me just a few minutes ago here, and we're going to get into this topic because I think it's a really good one. But it came to me because of, kind of things that happened this evening, and it just kind of triggered my brain as to, the importance of this topic, and then also how it ties into, as we go into the holidays here. The word perspective, I think, becomes incredibly important to so many of us, and the more perspective we have throughout these times that we spend with our families and the most important times. Remember, those of us who have children, these memories that are built over the holiday season are ones that last a lifetime. I could remember going to my grandparents' house, waking up at my parents' house, the smell, the look, the everything about the holiday season. I think it's important for us to focus on those things and make sure that we're present in those moments. And so the title of what I wrote down tonight was Never Get So Focused on What You're Doing That You Forget Why You're Doing It. And I think that, in today's world, there's a lot of people out there that label themselves as hustlers, or people that do whatever it takes, or they're going to do anything that it takes to make it big or make their dreams come true. And a lot of people wear that like a badge of honor. Right? They wear that title like a badge of honor. And I will tell you that there's a lot of people out there that I look at that, I have concern. I'm not always a part of people's lives, but from the outside in, I wonder if that is really a badge of honor or not for those people who lose track of the reason that they started in the first place, right? What is really important. So I want to give you guys some perspective on what I see so many people, and those that I do coach directly, what I see those people struggle with, and then what kind of makes that a roller coaster ride because of how they approach it, and the fact that they, kind of lose track of what they're doing. So what I will tell you is this: you cannot forget why you're doing something on your path to getting where you're going. And there's a bunch of reasons why. I'm going to give them to you. The first thing, though, I will tell you is that if you want to do things that you're not used to doing, and you want to make progress in your life, you want to get to the next level, as everybody says, you will absolutely have to sacrifice. But I just want you guys to keep in mind, you don't have to pay the ultimate price, where you see people losing their families, or just, losing their happiness in life. You don't have to pay that price. You can create a life that has both, that has happiness and fulfillment, that you see your children, you spend time with them, you do quality time, all of those things. You can balance it. And there's ways to do that. And we can talk about that. It'd probably take another show to get to all of this stuff. But the other thing I will tell you is your life in the pursuit of doing something great, or doing some of the things that these people that we're referring to are trying to do, your life will look a lot different than most. And there will be a lot of times where you feel very strange around other people because you don't relate to a lot of people. Nobody really understands you. I feel that way often, to be honest with you, because a lot of people that I interact with probably think that I'm crazy at times because I do a lot of things that other people don't do. I spend a lot of time doing things that don't make sense to other people, and that's okay as long as it makes sense to me, and as long as it's serving the mission that I'm on and why I started on that mission in the first place. And I'll get into that here in a minute. There will be moments along your way that you will wonder if it's all worth it or not. You'll go through some of those tough times, and you will sit there and question yourself. Should I turn back? Should I go get a job and give up my dream? And should I just go so I can spend more time with my family? Should I do this or should I do that? Because a lot of people are going to tell you those things or put them in your head. And guys, I will tell you this, is that all of those thoughts are very normal for people to have. And so if you're having them and you feel abnormal, you need to get around people that make you feel more normal having those thoughts, because everybody has those. And if somebody tells you that they've never experienced that and they're trying to do something like this, they are probably not telling you the truth. And the next thing I will say is, it is supposed to be hard, guys. It's supposed to cause stress. That is what's required to get to the next level of anything. It is your ability to embrace that stress and still maintain the normalcy of your life and keep in perspective the reasons why you're doing something that entire time. If you got to be able to handle stress and not take that out on everybody in your life. You have to be able to maintain, there's a lot of things that go on in my day-to-day life that I don't always share with my wife. Not because I don't want her to know or that I keep anything from her, but there are things that I feel it better serves our family for me to deal with on my own. You have to be able to separate those things to be able to maintain, for me, why I do what I do is because of my family, because I want to set a great example for my children, because I want to give them a great life, because I want to show them that anything is possible if you just put your mind to it and you work hard and you do the right things. And I feel like a lot of people get so focused on achievement and moving forward and getting there as fast as they can that they lose that, they end up losing the motivation that they had, because there's no benefit on the back end to why they originally started. So I'll give you this example. If you don't take the time to go celebrate some of your victories with those people that you care about, if you can't go have dinner, you can't spend time talking with your family, you can't go on a vacation, you can't do anything that would have been the reason that you started doing something in the first place, then you're going to lose the fuel that got you going in the first place. So you have to take those times to go recharge. And I'm telling you guys, like, a lot of people out there on the internet are going to tell you, there's a lot of people out there that talk about achievement and financial this and, money that, and what kind of car and what kind of house. I am telling you straight up that I've had all of these conversations with very successful people, and there are very, very few of them. I can't say there are none of them, because that would not be a true statement, but a very large percentage, 95% or better, will tell you it is not about the money. It is never about the money. For these people that are out there doing these kinds of things, it's about the journey. It's about the lessons that you learn along the way that you're able to pass on to others. It's about the memories that you create with the people that you do this with. It's about those people that you get to do it with, the lives that you get to impact, and then the cascading effect of that. the ripple effect of what you're able to do by impacting one person's life, who then that impacts their children, then their grandchildren, then on and on and on. And that leads you to ultimately what I believe a lot of people, kind of dream about, but they don't know how to put it into words. And it's something that I'm trying to figure out and struggle with still. But it's ultimately about the legacy that you get to leave. And that legacy that you get to leave behind, it touches all of the people that you impact. And it touches those people you get to work with. It touches your children. It touches your family. It touches people in your family that you don't even interact with all the time. Friends of those people. That is what it's all about, and it's hard to even describe that feeling when you have that type of impact, or that you've made a difference with someone. I just was talking with a group of guys tonight about that impact, and when you understand the power of really truly impacting somebody's life, that's the why. And whoever that why is, whoever those people are that you want to substitute it in for, that's most likely your family, most likely your children, most likely people beyond that. But the why of why you're doing something, I'm telling you guys, is never about the money. Money is a way for you to make a bigger impact. It is a way, it's a tool for you to use to get out there in the world and do bigger things. Money will give you security. Money will give you the momentum in life to make things better for yourself, for your family, and for others. But it will never be the defining factor of the things that you do in your life. And so when you start to get away from the why you're doing it, and you only focus on the results of what you're doing, I promise you, you're going to go on a roller coaster ride, because you're going to push really hard, really hard, really hard, and you're going to run out of steam. And then you're going to dip down, and then you're going to get behind a little bit, and then you got to work harder again to get back up that hill. And eventually you get exhausted from that. And I believe that that is 100% why so many people give up and quit. And the reason that people get in that situation in the first place, if any of you guys are listening to this and you think to yourself, that's me, it's because you do not have a mentor, and you do not have friends that are telling you when you're doing it the first time. When you are getting in that place where you're just going and going and going, and there's no joy in your life, there's no reward for the work that you're putting in, you are absolutely incapable of continuing to go when there is no return, because your mind and your body is going to tell you to stop because it doesn't make sense. You're exhausting yourself for no reason. So if you don't keep track and stay focused on why you're doing something, what the true thing that got you started, what was it in your heart that made you want to do something like this, you will absolutely not be able to maintain the same pace of doing something that you can at your peak. However, if you can achieve this balance, and it's always going to be a work in progress, guys, if you can achieve that balance of being able to unplug when you need to and go sit down. I tell a lot of people this, but when I was first starting out in business and I would get incredibly stressed out, I would have those moments where, oh my God, what are we going to do? Before we had any momentum, before we had any money, before we had any level of success. And you can ask my wife, she will verify this. I would literally walk up to my wife and wrap my arms around her and just give her a hug. And in that moment, all of that stress and all of that anxiety and all of those feelings that were overcoming my entire body, they all go away in an instant. Because in that moment, I remember exactly why I wanted to do it in the first place. I remember the guy that I'm supposed to be versus the guy that's caught in that moment. And that's the important part, guys. And so I want to go back through a couple of things that I wrote down here, but it's every time that you spend time focused on the true reasons why you do what you do, you will always walk away recharged, refocused, and with a drive and an intention that cannot and will not ever be duplicated by any other thing that you do. So as we enter the weekend of the holiday, and this, your family time begins, and you're around all the people that you care about the most, there's always these moments. And anybody, I don't know that people in my family ever really pay attention, but I spend a lot of time, during these holidays, I kind of sit and just observe and, spend some quiet time. And I'm sitting there thinking about all of these things. And I think about why I want to do what I want to do, what I want to achieve, and what it would look like. I think about my family and where we're going to be, what type of vacations I want to take with them. My kids going off to college or doing whatever they're going to do when they grow up. But I think about all of those things that allow me in those moments where it gets really tough, because you guys that are in business, you understand. Every week, every 2 weeks, something gets you, something punches you in the face and makes you question, man, what did I do to deserve this? Or should I keep going? Or whatever those things are, right? And it's those things that you think about in those moments related to those people that you care about the most that allow you to dig deep and keep going when everybody else would quit. And it's those moments when you take the time while those people are around, because here's what happens, guys. When you think about these things on your own, that's cool. But when you think about these things when those people are around you, there's an emotional and a logical connection that takes place in your brain that will reprogram you and be able to take you back to that place. And it will give you fuel that, I'm telling you, cannot be created by any other thing that you will do in your life. So when you take that time and you actually look around the room and you start to visualize all the things that you want to do, and you put yourself in those places and you put your family in those places, it does something special for your future. And so I would just tell you guys, the title is simple. Never get so focused on what you're doing in your life that you forget why you're doing it. And I think that, again, I talk a lot about quiet time or times of reflection, but it's those times when you take a couple of minutes to get all this clear that will keep you going for a long, long, long time into the future. And it will do incredible, incredible things for those moments of difficulty, because those moments of difficulty are what define everybody. It's not what you do in the greatest of moments that will send you to a new level. It's what you're able to do in the moments when everybody else is just falling apart. And so if you can maintain that, and this is, for me, this is the magic potion. It is, if it was up to me, if I had to keep going just for me, I wouldn't keep going. I promise you there would have been a time where I would have turned back. I would have made a different decision. I would have taken the easy way out. But I've got 4 babies upstairs and a wife that depends on me and a family that has always supported me no matter what I did. And it's that. It's that keeps me going, because who loses if I don't win? If I don't win, all of those people are impacted. And so I would tell you guys to think about that, and to think about those people in your life that mean the most, that are always there for you, or that are even sometimes there for you, that have made sacrifices along the way. And I feel like it's our responsibility to pay those people back, and to do the things that make those people around you proud, right? Make them look at you and say, man, you did good. You know, at the end of the day, you know, there's a lot of people in my life that sacrifice for me, and those are the people, and those are the reasons that I keep going. It's paying it forward, right? There's a lot of people that did things for me along the way, and that's why, you know, I try to help as many people as I can, because a lot of people help me. You know, when I had tough times in my life, there was always somebody there to pick me up. And so I try to do the same for others. But just think about those moments in your life that are most special to you when you were a kid. And I bet you a lot of them are going to be coming up for those people around you here in the next week. And so keeping this in focus is an important part of that, because when you fill yourself up by remembering why you're doing something, and you get that feeling or those chills all over your body of thinking, I got a sign right behind me that says, remember why you started. It hangs on my wall right back there. Every single day I walk into my office, that's what I see. Remember why you started. And when you remember why you started every single day, every day always feels like day one. And so as you go into the holidays here, it's a great time for you to refocus on exactly why you're doing what you're doing, or why maybe you want to take a step and do something different. But it is absolutely imperative, guys, on your path to whatever you're trying to do, to never, ever, ever forget why you're doing it, because why is the fuel to how you get it done. And so I will leave you guys with that. If you felt this was beneficial to you, or you feel like there's somebody else out there that needs to hear this message, please share it to your pages. You know, you can send it to somebody in a DM. It's available. It'll be available in 10 or 15 minutes here on podcast, on all the podcast platforms, and YouTube, and obviously here on Facebook Live as well. It'll stay there, but please send it out to somebody. You know, the mission of what I'm trying to do with this show is just to reach, you know, as many people as I possibly can, and impact as many people. You never know who needs to hear this message and what it might do for their life. So please share it out to your friends. And appreciate all you guys that jumped on here. Linda, Andrew, my mom's on here. Alan Foster, what's happening, man? Hunter, what's going on? Carrie Ann. Glad to hear my girl Carly came home with a clean scan today, so she has officially checked the box of kicking cancer's ass, and I couldn't be more happy for that little girl, man. What a journey she has been on, and such a display of grace that girl has put on this year. It's been incredibly inspiring. So, Bob, good evening. What's happening, man? Jeff, Yvonne, what's happening, brother? Appreciate all you guys jumping on here. Everybody, man, I hope you guys I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, but for those of you who don't join in the morning, I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and going into the holiday, man, I hope you guys just, you know, take some time to reflect, get some quiet time, and come into 2020 just on fire. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see some of you tomorrow morning, hopefully all of you tomorrow morning. But for those who are night owls, I will see you again soon. And thank you guys for tuning in. I love you guys.